Hello and welcome to the Berkcast, the How to Train Your Dragon podcast. I'm your host, HC. With me is.
Wolf.
And yeah, this may be a Rescue Riders episode, which took us a bit to get here because what can you do? Peacock is not available in some parts of the world. DreamWorks. And and also Ian may join us later because he can listen when I tell him when we start recording. So yeah,
He
let's hope. But
probably
anyway,
slept in, so we might have a third guest at some point. We might have our spin-off expert, our Rescue Riders expert, join us after a bit. If he remembers to
we'll
wake up.
see about that.
I bet you it
But anyway, Rescue Riders, Heroes of the Sky, season
Professional show.
3, season 6 in general, I guess you could say, if you count the specials as a season.
Hmm?
And yeah, so Wolf, what were your thoughts about this new season?
I liked this, and I thought it was fun. I mean, I guess I say this about every sequel Rescue
Yeah, you
Riders
say it
season.
about every damn the previous one. You did agree that it was the weakest one at least, but like this is like okay, yeah, it's fun,
Yeah, I think this one is stronger than
Give,
I enjoyed
give
this
me
one.
spice, man. Give me spice. It's a preschool show. We have a lot of things to talk about here.
This is true. This
Give
is
me
fair.
something more.
I enjoyed this one more than the last season. I think the last season, as I said, was fairly weak overall. I think I enjoyed this one a lot more. I felt like there were a lot more jokes that I found funny. So, yeah, I mean, I have the taste of a preschooler, I suppose, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot I enjoyed about this one, and we have another link in the chain that we'll get to.
We'll get to this later. But so for me, I people who may have listened to the previous episode about Rescuers know that I found the previous season the weakest, and I think it's a better time overall. That this season is a better time overall, but again, I kind of go back to the entire thing that if Rescue Riders was never your thing to begin with, this isn't going to change your mind. And I also think, without giving away too much, because we're not in spoilers yet, the slow game that they're trying to play with this show is agonizing at this point. But at the same time, I'm again, if you like the show up until this point, and I don't know if you have a kid that likes this show, then again, it's like it's more of the same. It's not.
I am surprised you're willing to give them credit enough to say they're playing the slow game. I don't think they're playing any game. I think they're just dropping hints and references. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're right. Maybe they are playing the longest slow game of ever.
What I mean by long game is that because we don't know if there's any point to it.
Fair.
And obviously people who've seen the season know what we're talking about. Those who don't, we'll get to it.
I do have to wonder who it's for, because I feel like preschoolers and kids who are going to be watching this have not seen the movies or Riders of Berk, Defenders of Berk, or Race to the Edge, all that. Like, right? They've not seen any of that. So I have to wonder, like, who is that for? Because I don't feel many adults who saw those movies are going to have kids now. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm like terribly off base with, with like their reach here. But at the same time, I watch this show and I'm a Dragons fan, so maybe it's for me. So I'll take it.
So I'll.
You died again on me, if you can hear me. We're having Discord issues today, ladies and gentlemen, it seems.
Really? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, I don't know what happened, but basically
it keeps dropping out intermittently, and I do not know why.
For the love of God! But okay, am I clear now? Is this
yes,
okay?
You're good for now. Hopefully, it lessens off and quits doing it. We'll see.
Basically, I want to ask you what you did with Wolf, because
Oh, Discord. Hello, are you there, HC?
Okay, fuck it. I'm trying something else.
You're alone with me now, ladies and gentlemen. So, I'm here to tell you. Oh, wait. No, can't tell you. Later, ladies and gentlemen. Later. Hmm?
Can you hear me now? Am I
Yes.
back?
Yes. You have changed. We're listening to a different HC, but you're there.
Well, this is. Like I was
You
willing
died.
to just.
Hold on. Go back. You died again. You were talking and then silence and then talking again.
I'm sure that there's something wrong with your connection, buddy, because
I don't.
I'm
I mean,
trying.
I have no clue what could be wrong. I mean, it must be mine, but I have no clue why it's doing that or what could be wrong, other than Discord itself is having issues because everything else is working great for me, but Discord keeps just dropping every now and again. And I have no clue what to do for that. Right. Yeah, I would not know what to do because Discord keeps dropping on me every now and again. It's just.
Are we still recording, by the way?
Yes, we are.
Well, let's try and keep this going anyway.
Let's hope it just gets better. That's all I can tell you.
So, I have no idea what kind of game they're trying to play here, if there's a point, if there's no point, but confusion aside, I guess, it's Rescue Riders for all its faults and all the things it does semi-okay for you if you liked it until now.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's my quick non-spoilery thoughts. Shall we move on to spoilers? I guess, let's do this. So, episode
Yeah, let's
1.
jump into it.
Episode 1. Traditional stuff, and I guess it was only a matter of time before we did like a relationship between a kid and a parent.
We finally get that. So we have the Inflato forces back and they're recruiting people. And we see a bunch of old characters come back, like LeBurn and Cinda and the Stinky Dragon.
Yeah, wait a
Swiffy.
minute. By the way, that fucking unicorn dragon, they copy and pasted it for 9 realms. I just realized.
Huh. I suppose they probably did, yeah.
They did! It's the dragon from the first episode of season 2. That's exactly the design, minus the horn.
And
actually, yeah, that's the dragon.
Huh, you are right, that is. See? It's linked again! We didn't even realize this link. 9 Realms proves it now.
Yeah, we'll talk about
I can't believe I missed
later.
that.
Yeah, honestly, I forgot as well until I saw this. I'm like,
Listen,
wait a minute.
It's not so much we missed it. It's more so that everyone. No, we didn't forget. Everyone just pushed this dragon out of their mind. No one wanted to remember Sparkle, and no one wants to continue remembering Sparkle.
Like, it's how would I say it? I think though it looks a bit less terrifying here, where it actually fits the art style, and not in 9 Realms, where it clashes and looks uncanny as all hell.
Listen, no one asked for a rainbow dragon. No one needs a rainbow unicorn dragon. No one asked for a unicorn dragon. A rainbow dragon might be okay, but a unicorn dragon, no.
Nobody asks for a preschooler's show about how to train a dragon, and nobody asks for a sequel series, and yet here we are. They probably used that because it was cheap.
I'm fine with the preschooler series and the sequel series. I just wish the sequel series was better. The preschooler series, I'm fine with how it is. I get laughs from it. I enjoy it. I have fun with it. The sequel series is up and down.
Up and down, like where are the ups? Let me ask you. But okay, this is not the 9 Realms podcast.
All I'll say is I hope we'll get there eventually.
Sure. Oh, by the way, you know what? Quick tangent on this. Apparently.
And his tangent died immediately.
Yes, we're probably angering some dragon god.
You wanna go back on your tangent again, please?
I would just want to tell you that from something I've seen people say, Carlson, Tom's last name means son of headache. So I'm sorry, Wolfie is connected to hiccup and not headache.
I'm going to
I
continue to choose to believe otherwise and say those people are just wrong. They're just translating it badly. They don't know.
whatever.
Listen, I am the only one who's allowed to be right.
No, shut up. Back to the first episode. So, it's a thing. It's an episode. I get to see Winger get covered by glue and see him get smashed by a tree, so that's wonderful for me. And that's a recurring theme in this season. Winger just keeps getting hurt, and it's wonderful.
I mean, again, the way you go on about Winger, you'd think he'd killed one of your family members, I swear. This dragon has done nothing wrong other than just have speeches, and you're like, I'm gonna ruin this dragon's career.
No, up until last season, I was like, I just don't like him because he's bland for me. But after the last season with that fucking Grace episode, no, fuck Wingo. He needs to die. He's an asshole.
I guess we can't love everyone.
Yeah, I know. So I have the right to hate this fucker. But okay. Anyway.
Yeah. Speaking of what, well, moving on to what actually happens in the show, Zeppela's, again, like the Inflato Force is having a new team. Zeppela's mom comes in and wants to really protect her more. She learns that Zeppela can handle herself and quits the team, and then it's like Zeppela, Sparkle, and the stinky dragon, Swiffy. I don't remember his name. Is on the Inflato Force now, and they're gonna go be rescue riders too. Woo! And that's the end of the episode.
We never see them again for this season.
We'll see them again eventually, one day.
Maybe.
It was a nice little callback. They brought back all the old dragons. They brought dragons you've not seen in a long time. You get to see in this season, actually, quite a few of them.
I guess so. It's like, I'd say, not a bad idea for an episode. I've just seen this being done in shows like this, but so again, I'm looking at this. It's like, but for the kids who are watching this for the first time, maybe it can help them reconnect with overprotective parents or parents who don't see like them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little moral. You get them in a lot of kids shows. The overprotective parent who needs to learn that their kid can do some stuff on their own and don't need that much help as they get older, right?
Yeah,
it's a nice little episode. I just wish they'd give my boy Grumbleguard more lines.
Yeah, like that actually shows up for like 2 lines in this episode,
but he doesn't get any lines. He's just there making facial expressions, and that's it.
Right.
Also, the fact that you went to the babies for like, hey, you want to join a dragon rescuing team? They're babies, aren't they?
Yeah, like what the honestly.
And I love how one of them shows up and they're like, yeah, he's too young. We can't use him at the moment. He needs to grow up a bit. I'm like, why did you go to them in the first place?
You brought them all the way to the roost, so like, at some point, you should, something. How about no? Also, speaking on that note, I am not letting Elbone babysit anyone, because what the fuck did he do with Fingard? Like, why did he take this kid so far away from home? Like, what the fuck? I know you're stupid, but
it was fine. No one got hurt. That's all that matters.
Yeah, because the dragons were there eventually.
Elbone is completely responsible. Ignore all the trouble he gets himself into and probably would have died a long time ago if it wasn't for the rescue riders. Ignore all that. He is responsible.
How did he survive until the rescue riders showed up? That's the lore show I want to see.
Don't question Elbone's ways.
Fair. So, not a lot to say. Okay, it's there. Like the entire show, it's here. It does its job. I guess some kids can get something out of this.
Oh,
fine.
Shit! Major theory time. Elbone is Loki. and he's just
I
there to
am not
continue
going.
get himself into
I am
different
not.
traps and nonsense.
I am not. I am not encouraging this any further. Moving on.
Oh, you're no
Okay.
fun. I need Ian here.
Yeah.
He would encourage it.
Yeah, but too bad he's late.
Mm.
But okay. Anyway, episode 2. Return to the sunken city. Show riders, I have a question for you. What are you doing? Just sit down, tell me, what are you doing?
They're having fun, HC. They're having fun, and I'm
They're
enjoying it.
having they're having fun, but I would also expect, some kind of reason because
No.
okay,
None.
okay.
You get
Here's
nothing.
the thing. I will say this, and please try and give me this one before turning this into a shit show. Please give me some. Give me this.
I'll think about it.
Regardless if you want to consider Rescue Riders canon or not, it really, at this point, you do you. I'm not gonna argue with that. But what I am going to say is that I think the writers need to decide if it's canon or not, because up until this point, the only kind of hint we got that it may be is that Golden Egg special.
Mhm. I mean, I would argue we've had many things. I've had many theories,
It was just kind of an
but
Easter egg. It was kind
but
of an Easter egg.
yeah, we've really only had the Golden Dragon short and now this, and that's been
Yeah,
it.
and suddenly here we have a bewilderbeast. And okay, fine. I'm not saying, putting the bewilderbeast there isn't an automatic example of this being canon. I am aware. What is though is that
Oh, Discord, so much fun.
but Discord is sinking like the sinking city.
Mm.
Hey.
Topical joke.
But but then when Magnus says that Vatlantis, as they call it, is apparently a civilization which had the Vikings and dragons live in peace. I'm like, okay, are you implying Vatlantis is Berk? And then they have that statue, which if you put the Viking's paw on the dragon's nose, it opens a secret passage. So, but these are obviously not Hiccup and Toothless. The statue is modeled after. So I'm asking, is this all just supposed to be an Easter egg? And if so, to what extent are you willing to go with it? Because as a fan, I'm just asking a lot of questions.
I mean, as a fan, I'm personally enjoying it because I get to sit there, and I'm sure you did the same thing to a degree, and say, and just be watching it. To be to be specific, like episode 2 is Return to the Sunken City, and we learn that the city of Volantis, which I'm still arguing is like Old Burke or something, but I guess that is no longer the case considering the statues. Can't say it's Old Burke anymore, so it's something different. But anyways, point is, they return because apparently there's alpha crystals there, and the alpha crystals came from the Bewilderbeast. And I got to sit there and go, they said the thing, it's a thing, it's the thing, and I think that's fun for people. I mean, I'll admit
Like,
I had fun.
Again, it's fun.
But I had fun not so much because of the show. I had fun because I knew I was going to come here and say something, right? That's
Like,
more so where my fun came from.
Okay. No, I will say that it's fun. And again, I like the idea of like, okay, you have an idea from the original franchise, and you're putting your own spin on it because because they are demonstrating it through those crystals, which are Rescue Riders thing. Those crystals weren't in the original franchise.
No. All we had was the Wildebeest. No, nothing from the crystals. Like, that's not a thing. It was just the Wildebeest.
Yeah, that not just the fact that it's a wildebeest. Honestly, at this point, who cares if they didn't think up of another name for it? What I'm questioning though is again, what's the point of hitting that Atlantis is like a Belk or something like that? Again, it's like they put this there and then they do nothing with it. Which again, the alpha thing, the alpha crystals, they
Yeah, it's
He
definitely not
even
me.
put the
Like,
song on.
you want to repeat some of that? You dropped out again.
Uh, like the alpha crystals.
Hmm.
After this episode, they disappear. And it's
Hmm.
like, you know what? Why? You have something unique that you can do with this idea for this show. Play around with it. Have fun with it. But no, after this, it disappears for the rest of the season, and it's just the same old shit again. It's like, huh?
I mean, that's kind of my biggest complaint about Rescue Riders in general. I just, the first season of Rescue Riders felt more connected with things that were going on. These newer seasons are basically just, let's introduce a thing, move on. Let's introduce a thing, move on. Let's introduce a thing, move on. Let's
And
introduce a thing, move on. Let's make a
yeah,
callback, move
because
on. Let's make a callback,
uh,
move on. And
honestly,
then
aside
you move to a
from
completely different season. Hey, let's go back to that thing we did before. And it's just, I just, man, these parts just don't work. Like, the only continuing
yeah,
thread we've had thus far is we've continued to reference the tablets from the sunken city, and we're learning from that, and that's literally it. Like, that's the only thing we continue to go back to at the moment.
the crystals are coming and going when the plot demands it. And
You
the
got
only
one reference to your crystals this season. We had like, hey, Winger can do 4 power shots now instead of 3. And I
yeah,
feel like he's done more than 3 before, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he hasn't. Either way, you did get your crystals back this season, at least a little bit. Ooh, hit the mic. I apologize. But yeah, it's, I don't know. It's very much one of those things
so good
of,
with this.
oh wow, okay, so Discord dropped again. That was a
So now,
long drop. Wow.
I will say you can have fun with this, right? Else the kids want to have fun with those things too.
Yeah, that's fair. Again, like, it's probably, again, like I said, it's one of my personal biggest complaints of Rescue Riders in these past 3 seasons, is that I just don't enjoy the let's introduce a thing and then drop it until the next season where we bring it back up once maybe, and then that's it. It would be nice if they would do more with some of this stuff.
Well, all I'm going to say though, seeing Winger being brainwashed is fun, and he should suffer.
Okay. Again, I just,
Also, for some reason, I also kind of like the twin stone.
oh, the bubble dragons, yes, yeah, they were fun.
Can you hear me, Wolf?
I can now.
So I said that I like the two twin
I'm going to
dragons,
try
which
and disconnect briefly and see if that fixes anything.
let's hope. May
Hello.
this be the saving grace of this,
Uh,
because
like, it's
I want.
definitely, I don't know what it is. It's either something my end or something Discord, but just every now and again Discord's just shoots up on the, because I've been watching it, the loss rate on the packet, and it's just, yep, there it goes again.
I couldn't hear you for a while now,
Yeah, you
so I
should
don't
be able to
know.
hear me now. I don't know
Yeah,
what it is, but it's something on Discord's end. It has to be, and there's nothing I can do about that.
okay. Well, what can you do? But to close this, I like the two twin dragons that were guarding the crystals. I think they were okay, considering.
Yeah, they were fun. The bubble dragons, they were enjoyable.
Forget about it, just like the show does. Okay, actually, though, we talked about continuity. We remember this season for some reason that Agro wasn't initially a part of the writers, and she joined later.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! Continuity. All right, episode 3, Dragon God.
This one was also fun. Like, this is a cutter centric
Before,
centric
uh,
episode.
before this, I just want to say that Talon, the God Dragon, every time he spoke, I'm like, he sounds like Patrick Warburton.
Yeah,
That
Patrick
joke.
Warburton. Yeah, like the guy who plays Krunk from
Yeah,
from
So
the Emperor's Last Groove. But it's
yeah,
not him though, I don't
yeah.
think.
So like that's the thing that there are points where it sounded like him, there are points that sound a bit off, and then so I looked it up, and apparently that's his son, who is also named Talon.
Huh. that's neat. I didn't know that. Huh.
So I thought this was pretty damn cool.
Oh yeah, it says it on the wiki too. Wow, huh. They had fun with that dragon name. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm surprised
I
his son
wonder.
sounds so much like him, but then also doesn't sound like him.
Yeah, like there are moments where it does, and there are moments where it doesn't. Also, apparently, Talon Waldborn, redirects you to Patrick Waldborn's
Yeah,
Wikipedia page. So go figure.
his son doesn't get anything apparently.
Well, maybe he's just an up and coming in the business. You may never know.
Hmm.
But yeah, so that's fun, and that's fun to know. That's something I wanted to bring up. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, neat little thing. I was wondering if that was him or not. I was going to ask you because I couldn't find anything on whether or not it was or wasn't him, but it definitely. There are points where I sat there. That's him, isn't it? That sounds like him. And then wait, no, that's not him. That's someone just doing an impersonation. But no, that's his son, huh? That's really neat.
So yeah, so that's his son, and that's really damn cool.
But going back
So
to the episode itself, it's all right. It's a fun, like I said, Cutter episode. There's nothing too much going on here other than Cutter gets his own personal bodyguard because we're doing the Wookiee life debt thing, but with dragons now. It's a dragon debt.
I shall remind you that Race to the Edge did this episode too, and it's the episode which gave us the wonderful Hiccup Punches Snotlout play.
That's true.
So there's very sadly a bar to beat, and that is not reaching that bar. I am very sorry, but also it's okay.
Yeah,
It's
it was
okay, I
fun.
guess.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
fun.
not a lot to say. Again, like this is the entire show, really. Not a lot to say. It's just it exists. It does its job. Moving
Again, I
on.
mean, it's one where they introduced like a new dragon, and I liked the new dragon. Like, and I think that should be the point. He was funny enough, and there's a few good jokes that came from it, so I'll take it.
Yeah, I suppose. So moving on to episode 4.
Yeah, Gludge-tastic Voyage. Ugh. I like this one and don't like this one. Like, it's such an interesting idea, but why do we want to go inside of Gludge? Why?
Because we have a whale-like dragon, and we need to reference Jonah from the Bible somehow.
I guess. But yes, in this episode, Gludge accidentally swallows a dragon egg, and we have to go inside of him to save the dragon egg.
By the way, seeing Winger crash 2 times in this episode. Wow, beautiful.
I admit those were funny, and it's just because like every single time I loved like the first one where they find one of the boomback dragon eggs, it hatches, and it's supposed to fly away up into the air and fall, and eventually that's how it learns to fly because it catches itself. And I love just they're sitting there waiting on it, and Layla's like, "Oh, it'll be fine, don't worry about it." And all of a sudden, "Winker now!" She just screams out. I loved that little scream, like it just felt so visceral. Like, jeez.
Again, it's one of those. It's a fun idea, but honestly, though, after the first one, I think they would just know that it's a very doesn't know that this is how it works. It would have always catched itself. But
Okay.
And then also there's like so for the most of this episode, like Summer and Agro are going inside of Gludge, and the others are just basically
Wait, no.
outside.
Layla and Acro, not Summer.
Layla, my bad. The human,
Don't do my girl dirty like that.
Sorry, I confused.
No, it's fine. They are similar, but that is the point of them, I suppose.
So it's an episode. It's an episode, really. It's annoying that I can't really say anything.
It's not too much to talk about here, other than like we get to see Oscar again because Gludge apparently ate him too, and Oscar doesn't want to go back, and it's like okay, because he's tired of being king, and so he wanted this little vacation.
Mm-hmm. I suppose. Anyway, moving on.
Yes. Moving on. Oh.
At the end of the
Oh,
episode is
wait,
the most random.
wait. Go back a bit. We died again a little bit.
We're
Rewind,
back.
now
Okay.
go.
Okay, so episode 5, Dragon Out of Water.
Mhm.
Gotta say, there's the joke at the end of the episode.
Damn it, Discord. Why? Why when we record? Why do you have problems, Discord? Oh wow, this was a big drop, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy. So we have Dragon Out of Water, episode 5, and this episode is
Can
basic.
you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
The ending is super random, and I kind of love it for how random it is.
Yeah, I mean,
More random, please.
yeah, I mean, I love. It's basically a joke of Elbone got shocked, and he's getting there, getting shocked, and all of a sudden he says, "Oh, I can understand." Like, and you hear, he hears what Burple says, and he's like, "Oh, I can understand him now." And then he gets shocked again. He's like, "Oh, never mind, it's gone." And that's it. That's the joke. I loved it. I thought that was funny and great. And that's pretty much like the big thing from this episode is just that one joke. The rest of it's all right. There's nothing here to write home about.
Again,
It's just
we've seen this kind of episode. It's not anything.
yeah, it's just a
But
stand up. It's just a standing up to your bullies episode. I did enjoy the little thing of the little self-referential thing of, hey, just because you stood up to us this once, do you think we're really going to change anything or do anything different? And they're like, okay, yeah, no, that's perfectly fine. We're willing to do that, and they run away. I mean, I don't know. It's like I wish shows like this would do more, but this isn't the show if you want to learn how to deal with bullies or if you want to, be better
I
at
would
doing stuff like
say
that, right?
I
Hey,
would say that for this, I would actually say I would expect them to do this the kind of thing a bit better because
mhm,
this is a preschool show and kids can be more influenced by that, and
mhm.
I would expect something a bit more. But I guess it's fine. If this is the first standing up to the your bully episode that kids see, I guess it's a good enough thing.
There's worse standing up to your bullies episodes from shows
Yeah,
out there that you can go watch, that you can show
mm,
kids and stuff like that. There's much worse.
yeah.
There's better, but there's much worse.
And another thing, Elbone has this crystal, which I thought for sure was gonna come into play somehow. It doesn't.
That's Crystal. Her name's Crystal. He's had it for a while now. That's his
I
collection of friends. He has Rocky, Crystal, and Shelly.
Yeah, true, but
I can't
I
wait to
only
see what his next friend will be.
I recalled only Rocky, so I don't
He's just been adding to them every season. Just
know.
about.
Mhm. Well, next episode and the last one, Nest Day.
Again, another. This is fine. It's.
This
I like.
this was the most this was the most blatant deadly natter, but not design they could have gone with.
Yeah. I was gonna say. It's like, this is kind of a deadly natter, but also very much not. And it's just. This is what it comes back to that, like, just use a deadly natter, please. It'd be fun. But then they wouldn't be able to do, like, oh, the deadly natter.
With the dragon, maybe.
Yeah, like, they wouldn't be able to do the mute dragon thing if they had used a deadly natter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I
So
get it,
yeah,
but it's, it's a neat idea. A mute dragon, a dragon that can only communicate with its wings.
and you know something, it's also something fun for this kind of show because obviously you couldn't do it with with the hiccup and tutor stuff. You can do this with 9 realms because the dragons don't talk at all in those.
Hmm.
So it's interesting here that the main characters can talk to dragons, but it's like it does nothing.
Hmm. Yeah.
So that's an interesting part, but again, it's one of those. If you guys would have just think for just a second, you could have solved this conflict a lot earlier. But I guess we need to drag to 22 minutes. So
Yeah, this one is one of the few ones that felt like, okay, this is kind of wearing on a bit, right? There
Mhm.
wasn't too many episodes where I felt like, okay, I'm kind of done now. Can we just end the episode, right? I felt like episode 6, Nest Day, and maybe one other, I was kind of like, yeah, I'm kind
The
of done
glad
now.
the Gludge one was very much. Let's move
Glutch
on.
one I didn't mind too much. It felt like, all right, yeah, I'm cool with all the pacing and everything here. It was
Maybe
it
again because I think at the end of the day they don't really know how to drag these episodes out for 22 minutes. I'm not sure if it's something we brought up earlier,
we
but
have
it feels like it.
more than once. It's not always the case in every single
I'm
season, but
gonna
there's
assume I
been
dropped.
no, you're fine.
Oh,
Oh no, it did
so
drop, but I still heard you for whatever reason.
oh,
Weirdly enough.
but basically, I'm not sure if it's just that this show does it can't do 22 minutes and they need to dry, they need to change format, or
Hmm.
just that maybe we are just not the target audience and those things don't hold our attention for very long.
I mean, that's fair, right? A little kid's attention span is going to be much different than ours
Oh,
is.
you dropped.
I'm still here.
Yeah, I heard you now.
Okay. Discord. We're missing our spinoff expert, and Discord is having issues. A great day to record, ladies.
I'm telling you, this season is fucking cursed considering a lot of things.
apparently, apparently, the cursed Berkcast episode. I was going to say Outcast.
Mm, close
Yeah,
enough.
like overall, an enjoyable enough season. Definitely better than last season, in my opinion. There's a lot more things that I found enjoyable and
But
that
at
I
the same
found funny.
time, I'm also like, if it wasn't that we need to do this for a podcast, I wouldn't bother. And fair,
Which is fair.
we are not the target audience for this show. I'm aware, but keep in mind that if there was a kid who was 4 when Rescue Rider started, that kid is now 7.
True.
So I think I would have just expected Lion God exists. Like, come
You want to
on.
go back a bit?
If this,
Discord dropped again. So
if,
you think you would have just
I'll
expected?
just, I just expected the writers that something like the Lion God exists, which is a
Hmm.
preschool spin-off of a big epic animated feature.
Hmm.
So if Disney can put effort into their preschool shows based on big movies, I think you can do this. That's all I'm.
That's fair, right? Again, there are definitely episodes out there that if you're wanting your kid to like have something that's enjoyable to watch, but also really good for them to watch, there are better shows out there like The Lion Guard or others, right? And I'm sure many can recommend some in the comments below where even as adults, like they love the show because it's just that well done, even for a kid's show. Those things do exist. Rescue Riders is, while better than some, definitely worse than others, right? And I wish it could be better. It'd be nice to have that. And I'll admit, as much as I've enjoyed Rescue Riders and had fun watching it, it's definitely not something that, if we weren't doing it for the show, I probably wouldn't have bothered. I probably would have been like, oh, that's cool, and then moved on and just forgotten about it. But
Yeah.
I'm glad we are doing the show because I've had fun watching it. And I guess at the end of the
Yep.
day, I think that's the most key thing. As long as people are having fun watching it, then
Yeah,
it'd be
definitely.
nice
If
if it
you
did more. It'd be nice if it went the distance. But it's hard to complain so long as you're having fun.
That is true, and I'll even say again, despite the fact that I don't think the writers really know what they want to do, I would at least give it more credit that I can give Nine Realms, if I'm honest with you.
Poor Nitro. It'll get there. I have to believe and hope it'll get there.
I want to believe and hope that it will get there, but as it is
I
right
just
now,
I
it's
just
just
feel
not
like,
there.
speaking briefly on Nine Realms, I just feel like they just need a full season, not parts.
Yeah,
I just
speaking briefly.
I just feel that Nine Realms needs a full season and not parts of a season.
Which, by the way, it seems like they're doing it with the Rescue Riders too. You know, six
True, but
episodes and then seven.
I
But
feel like Rescue Riders it works better for.
yeah, because it's a more episodic show. It's not. Again, they are trying to have an overarching plot, but they don't really do it. So
I mean, their overarching plot is one or two episodes from one season, one or two
uh,
episodes from another season, one or two
but I
episodes
guess
from
it
another
works
season.
better, honestly.
I mean, if that is what they're going for, they are playing the longest of games, as I've said.
Mm-hmm. The other thing we kind of forgot to mention Axel in the second episode. I don't know why, but it looks like a combination of Tom from Nine Realms and Kristoff from Frozen.
Oh, something else I wanted to mention. Did you notice that it seemed like in the final episode, Burple's voice changed? Did they change the actor for Burple?
I didn't notice a difference.
It felt like his voice was
they did.
ever so slightly deeper. Maybe it's just the VA getting a little bit older and or he was having issues, but I swear it was different. I would swear up and down his voice was just his voice was different. Like it was just slightly different. I would swear.
Because you know something, I'm looking at the name in the Wikipedia page, and I think it's different than the name at the end of the credits.
I'm not sure.
Let me check real quick. Let me check. Okay. But anything else you want to say while I'm looking this up? Let's see here.
No, I mean, I think
no,
we've.
it's the same. It's the same guy.
Okay.
Same kid.
Maybe it was just an off day or just something different going on there. Huh. But I swear it was slightly different. But again, it can happen. No, I mean, again, this is an improvement over last season. As I said, last season was a little meh. I didn't enjoy it as much. I felt like last season had more episodes that felt like they dragged on for a bit too long. This season had this problem with the final episode. That was it. I felt maybe one other one where I started to feel a little bit like, all right, let's end it. But for the most part, like episode 6 was the one where like, all right, I'm kind of done. Let's move on.
Yeah.
And for you to get 5 good episodes where like I'm sitting there as an adult going like, yeah, this is fun. I'm enjoying this. And then one where, all right, I'm kind of done. Can we just move on from this? This is played out already. So yeah, like overall, good.
Yeah, so I guess
your kids will enjoy it.
Their kids will enjoy it, I guess. I'm assuming that we're going to get another season, considering how they are spacing those out. And I'm not expecting much. But I guess I kind of, if they have a plan, I hope that we get to actually see this plan going somewhere. Because honestly, it's just kind of becoming a bit draining at this point.
Next season, we'll get like, is that a metal leg in Volantis? And that's it. That's all you get.
That's the case, but okay.
You Discord dropped again. You want to repeat that one last time?
That I'm gonna kill someone with a metal leg. This is happening, but... Okay.
I thought that's what you said.
Okay. Anyway, this is all for this episode of the Berkcast, the very cursed episode of the Berkcast.
I blame Ian.
It.
We'll blame Ian. He's not here to defend himself, so we can just blame him.
God damn it, Ian.
It's all his fault. All Ian's fault, ladies and gentlemen. So in the comments below, blame Ian for Discord having issues and us having to record without him.
For the record, we moved the recording day just because of him.
That's right. So it's all Ian's fault. Even more so.
Yeah, all for Ian. Anyway, with that being said, that's all for this episode of Berkcast. We hope you enjoyed it. What do you think about this season of Rescue Riders, and do you have any hope for it in the future? You can tell us all about it in the comment section below on our Tumblr, Berkcast.
Metal leg. Damn it, Discord. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed this episode of the Berkcast. This has been all from us. If you want to catch us, please go check us out on our Tumblr, which is Berkcast Team, or our Twitter, which is Berkcast with a capital B, capital C. I have been your co-host, Wolf, and I was joined by...
I was your host, HC, and we'll see you all next time. Good job on the outro, Wolf. Take care.
Bye-bye.